LA Knight is the reigning United States champion. The megastar won the championship at SummerSlam 2024 by defeating Logan Paul in the Maverick's hometown. Knight has been a fighting champion, willing to issue open challenges to any star in the locker room. Ludwig Kaiser stepped up in Berlin last month but failed to dethrone the champion. The primary objectives of open challengers are getting the champion over and giving title opportunities to underutilized stars. Unfortunately, in the presence of limited credible talent, such endeavors risk losing their element of surprise and becoming redundant. If Knight regularly does U.S. title open challenges, Triple H will struggle to find credible opponents. With no serious contenders, fans might lose interest in the champion. For example, if someone like Giovanni Vinci, currently struggling for momentum, challenges Knight, few would take him seriously. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes' brokered alliance against the Bloodline 2.0 is the primary selling point of SmackDown these days. In addition, the American Nightmare's friendship has also received attention. Furthermore, the WWE Women's Championship scene is a mess with prominent names like Tiffany Stratton and Bayley taking center stage. Therefore, Hunter has much to address on SmackDown in 2 hours. If WWE squeezes a U.S. title open challenge somewhere in between, there is a danger of the segment getting lost in the shuffle, which spells trouble for the credibility of the championship. Over on Raw, Jey Uso, riding on a wave of momentum and emotion, dethroned Braun Breaker to become the Intercontinental Champion. Since it involved G and the program had a background story, the WWE Universe wasn't interested. Triple H should do the same with the U.S. Championship and give LA Knight a credible opponent with a legitimate storyline. Logan Paul returning for a rematch doesn't sound like a bad idea, as there is plenty of history between the two rivals. A returning AJ Styles could also give Knight a run for his money, especially if one considers their mutual disdain and the limited time the phenomenal one has left in the ring. LA Knight's rise in WWE has been a carefully crafted process, and his character is all about confidence, charisma, and strategic moves. Issuing an open challenge could potentially undermine this build-up by diluting the sense of purpose and anticipation surrounding his matches. An open challenge, by nature, lacks the intense build-up and storytelling that WWE thrives on. One of LA Knight's strengths is his ability to deliver great promos and weave storylines around his matches. If he simply issues an open challenge, it eliminates the opportunity to create meaningful feuds and rivalries. WWE fans have always been drawn to the drama, twists, and turns that accompany long-term storytelling. Without a clear rivalry, LA Knight could fall into the trap of having random opponents with no history or connection, which would weaken the emotional investment of the audience. Moreover, LA Knight thrives on mind games, taking jabs at his opponents, and building tension before the match. His back-and-forth promos have been a crucial part of his character's success. If his opponents are unknown until the moment they step into the ring, it denies LA Knight the chance to create that build-up and momentum, which are essential for his persona. The open challenge format may work well for some wrestlers like John Cena, whose legacy was already firmly established. But LA Knight is still on the rise, and needs carefully constructed rivalries to strengthen his narrative. Another danger of issuing an open challenge is the potential for LA Knight to be overshadowed by the element of surprise. Open challenges often thrive on unexpected appearances, whether from returning legends, debuting stars, or even someone from another brand. While this can generate a momentary pop from the crowd, it could easily steal the spotlight from LA Knight, the person who should be the focal point. For example, imagine if LA Knight issues an open challenge and a returning superstar like Randy Orton, AJ Styles, or someone from NXT answers the call. While the surprise would generate a great moment, it could reduce LA Knight's importance in the narrative. The focus would likely shift to the surprise factor of the challenger, relegating LA Knight to the background. The audience's excitement might be more about who answered the challenge, rather than the fact that LA Knight is in the ring defending his spot or title. Surprise returns or debuting wrestlers often get priority in terms of fan reaction, which could stall LA Knight's momentum. As a rising star, LA Knight needs to protect his status and ensure that the spotlight remains on him, especially as he edges closer to main event status. He doesn't want to fall into the trap of being a transitional figure who's merely there to facilitate another wrestler's moment. By avoiding an open challenge, LA Knight can keep the focus on himself, his character development, and the feuds that make him a standout performer. The third and perhaps most critical reason why LA Knight should avoid an open challenge for his next title contender is the risk of damaging booking. The unpredictability of an open challenge brings with it the danger that WWE creative might use the opportunity to push someone new at LA Knight's expense, resulting in a premature loss that could hurt his growing popularity. Given that WWE is notorious for throwing curveballs, there is always the possibility that LA Knight could lose to a surprise challenger. While losing in itself isn't always damaging, especially if the match is part of a larger storyline, a loss in an open challenge scenario could feel pointless and underwhelming, with no narrative weight behind it. This would be particularly harmful to LA Knight's character, who prides himself on being a self-assured dominant figure. A random, unplanned loss could make him look vulnerable, undermining the confidence and arrogance that has won him so many fans. Furthermore, WWE has a history of using open challenges to create unexpected upsets, which may not always be in the best interest of the defending superstar. The desire to create a shock moment could lead to poor booking decisions, where LA Knight is sacrificed for a short-term surprise pop. For instance, if a lesser-known NXT wrestler were to defeat LA Knight in an open challenge, it could create an exciting moment for that night, but it might not serve LA Knight's long-term narrative, especially if WWE doesn't follow through with consistent booking for either party involved. In addition, open challenges often lead to matches without a proper storyline payoff. Since LA Knight thrives on storytelling, a random match that isn't part of a larger feud wouldn't contribute to his character development. In WWE, perception matters a great deal, and having an open challenge with a lackluster payoff could make LA Knight seem like a mid-carder rather than someone who's ready to break into the main event scene. Protecting his momentum with carefully planned feuds and matches is far more important at this stage of his career than risking it all for a one-off surprise. While open challenges have a history of generating buzz in WWE, they are not always the right move for every superstar, and LA Knight is a prime example of someone who should avoid this approach. His character thrives on strategy, mind games, and strong narrative arcs, which an open challenge would undermine by removing the build-up and emotional investment of a carefully planned feud. Moreover, the potential for a surprise challenger to overshadow LA Knight's moment or the risk of a premature loss due to shocking booking decisions could severely damage his momentum. At a time when LA Knight is poised to become one of WWE's next big stars, it's essential that his matches are thoughtfully planned, with clear stakes and meaningful stories that further elevate his character. Instead of an open challenge, LA Knight should focus on well-crafted rivalries with top-tier talent, ensuring that his eventual title contention feels earned and significant. This approach will keep the audience invested in his journey and cement him as a major player in SmackDown's future.